Once feared as fierce, cold-blooded killers of the prehistoric era, crocodiles today are not only a source of highly sought-after luxury meat, but also a symbol of high fashion, generating billions of dollars for the global industry. But have you ever wondered how millions of crocodiles are raised, harvested, and processed every year? It all begins at thousands of large-scale modern crocodile farms, where these reptile creatures are carefully bred, fed, and cared for under the watchful eyes and wisdom of experienced farmers. Then, through tightly controlled systems, the crocodiles are transported to specialized Modern crocodile farming today is truly a revolution, far beyond the crude methods that existed for centuries. This dramatic transformation has paved the way for crocodiles to be raised and processed industrially in over 30 countries, with major hubs like Thailand, Australia, South Africa, the United States, and China, home to high-tech farms and specialized processing facilities. These farms can span up to 100,000 square meters, housing tens of thousands of crocodiles at various life stages, and they continue to expand. But what's the real reason crocodile meat and skin are in such high demand? With a lifespan of up to 50 years and a rare, time-enhanced sheen, crocodile leather has become the crown jewel of luxury fashion, featured in pieces like the $500,000 Hermes Himalaya Birkin and Louis Vuitton crocodile locket. Even though farm-raised crocodiles have been born and bred in captivity for generations, their primal hunting instincts remain fully intact, which means raising them in massive numbers has never been an easy or entirely safe task. Despite being known as one of the most dangerous reptiles on the planet, a crocodile's life begins from something surprisingly humble. A small egg, not much different from that of a chicken. And it all starts with egg laying, a crucial and standardized step in every modern crocodile farming model. During the breeding season, which typically falls between April and August, depending on the region, mother crocodiles are moved to semi-wild or artificial ponds designed to mimic natural habitats and encourage nesting. Farmers prepare thick, soft, and dry layers of sand around the pond's edge to encourage females to dig nests and lay their eggs. At this stage, the mother crocodile will select a spot she deems safest and dig a nest, usually about 30 to 50 centimeters deep, in preparation for laying. Depending on the species, age, and level of care, each female can lay anywhere from 20 to 80 eggs per clutch. Because the mother crocodile becomes especially sensitive and defensive during this stage, farmers must collect the eggs swiftly and accurately, ensuring safety before she detects any intrusion and turns aggressive to protect her nest. Therefore, farmers typically try to separate the mother crocodile from the nesting area before beginning the egg collection process. Egg collection requires precision, speed, and more than a little courage, because just a few seconds too late, and the mother crocodile might return to the nest and react aggressively. Each egg must be gathered within 24 hours of being laid to prevent it from being eaten, and every single one is carefully marked to indicate its exact orientation. This is crucial, as rotating the egg during transport to the artificial incubation area could damage the embryo and ruin the hatch. After being successfully collected from the mother crocodile, the eggs are gently wiped with a dry cloth to remove sand and debris. They are then placed in trays lined with sawdust or on specialized racks, helping to retain moisture and keep the eggs stable, with precise spacing to prevent contact and ensure proper airflow during incubation. They are then placed into an automated incubation system within a climate-controlled environment where humidity is maintained at 90–95% and the temperature is kept between 30 degrees Celsius, 33 degrees Celsius, creating ideal conditions to maximize hatch rates and ensure healthy embryo development. One fascinating fact is that the gender of baby crocodiles is not determined by chromosomes, as it is in many other animals, but entirely by the temperature during incubation. If the temperature exceeds 32 degrees Celsius, most of the hatchlings will be male. In contrast, temperatures below 30 degrees Celsius tend to produce mostly females. After approximately 75 to 90 days of incubation, the baby crocodiles begin to emit distinctive chirping sounds, signaling that the hatching process is officially underway. After hatching, baby crocodiles are transferred to separate nursery areas, typically cement ponds equipped with water circulation systems, temperature control, and overhead covers to maintain stable living conditions. In their early stages of life, the young crocs are fed small fish, chicken meat, or high-protein commercial feed to support bone and muscle development and strengthen their immune systems. They're usually fed once or twice a day at fixed times to help establish a consistent biological rhythm and minimize aggressive competition during feeding. Unlike your cow, which takes 18 to 24 months to reach harvest age for meat or milk, crocodiles grow at a rate of 2 to 3 years to reach commercial size. During the fattening stage, crocodiles are fed only 2 to 3 times per week compared to their earlier growth phase. However, the nutritional quality of each meal is significantly enhanced, with a high-protein diet specifically designed to optimize both meat texture and skin quality, the two most valuable outputs in crocodile farming. Even though they don't eat daily like other livestock, crocodiles can still suffer from obesity and digestive issues if their feed intake is not strictly limited to under 10% of their body weight. Thanks to this careful feeding management, the fattening process not only helps crocodiles reach their ideal weight, but also ensures they meet the strict standards of the premium meat and leather markets. After a long period of patience and meticulous care, the time finally comes for farmers to reap the fruits of their labor, when the fully grown crocodiles reach the ideal size for harvesting. At this stage, the crocodile is temporarily rendered unconscious for a few minutes using methods such as blunt force trauma to the skull, the pithing method, or remote stunning with electric prods or captive bolt guns. The goal is to make the animal lose consciousness before restraint and transport, reducing aggressive reactions, minimizing struggle, and preserving the quality of both meat and skin. However, as animal welfare becomes an increasingly important and regulated issue in the farming industry, electric stunning has become the more widely adopted method at many modern crocodile farms. Once the crocodile is fully immobilized, workers quickly tie its snout, secure its limbs, and then transfer it onto a specialized transport vehicle. Depending on their intended use, hundreds of crocodiles will be classified before entering the slaughter process, ready to transform themselves into a rich source of protein sought after across the globe, and premium-grade hides featured in legendary handbags bearing the names Hermes or Louis Vuitton. Immediately upon arrival at the processing facility, workers use a specialized sharp knife to sever the carotid artery, or the artery at the back of the neck, allowing the crocodile to quickly stop breathing and bleed out while still under the effects of electric stunning or sedatives. Immediately after bleeding and washing are completed, the crocodile carcass is transferred to the skinning area, a highly critical stage handled by skilled workers, as it involves the most economically valuable part of the animal. Unlike mink skinning, which is done from the hind legs to peel the entire hide along the back, crocodile farms typically use the belly cut method. This technique preserves the soft, wide, and evenly toned belly scales, the most desirable section for high-end fashion products. Using fine, ultra-sharp surgical knives, workers carefully cut along the belly and gently separate the skin from the muscle tissue, taking great care not to leave scratches or tears. A flawless crocodile hide can measure between 40 to 60 inches in length and fetch anywhere from $300 to over $10,000 a piece, depending on its size and quality. Before entering the leather processing phase, the remaining crocodile carcass is moved to the meat butchering section. At this stage, the animal is securely positioned on a stainless steel cutting table, and skilled workers carefully separate the major muscle groups, including the tail, back, flanks, and neck, one section at a time. The tail, in particular, is highly prized, making up nearly 50% of the total marketable meat. It's considered the finest cut, known for its white, lean, protein-rich texture, and is often featured in local delicacies or served at upscale restaurants. One of the most crucial steps that determines up to 80% of a crocodile hide's commercial value is the initial preservation phase, designed to maintain its quality and prepare it for advanced tanning processes. After being thoroughly cleaned with high-pressure cold water and meticulously scraped to remove any remaining debris, fat, or connective tissue, the hide undergoes either dry salting or deep freezing at 18 degrees to 25 degrees, especially when the tannery is not located near the farm. This preservation method effectively halts biological decomposition, protects the natural grain pattern, and preserves the hide's structural integrity before it enters the high-end tanning and finishing stages. Finally, before being sent to the tannery, the hides are manually graded based on criteria such as size, thickness, belly scale uniformity, and the presence of flaws. Next, the high-quality crocodile hides enter the intensive tanning process, a series of carefully controlled steps that can take anywhere from between 5 and 21 days, requiring advanced techniques and strict oversight. The hides are first soaked in chemical or bioenzyme solutions to relax the collagen fiber structure. Then comes the actual tanning stage, where agents like chrome or natural tannins are infused into the leather to prevent biological decay, enhance durability, and improve water resistance. After the tanning process is complete, the crocodile hides move on to the shaving stage. With the aid of precision shaving machines, workers meticulously adjust each hide to a uniform thickness, typically between 0.8 and 1.2 millimeters, ensuring consistency across the entire surface. Next, the most experienced workers, with sharp eyes and steady hands, manually inspect and sort the hides. Only those that meet the highest standards, with clearly defined belly scales, a soft texture, and no visible defects, are selected to proceed to the final stages of dyeing and surface finishing. Depending on the specific, a fully grown buffalo may weigh only around 500 kilograms, but its ability to adapt far surpasses that of many other large livestock species. Buffaloes are especially drawn to water and mud, not just to cool off, but to protect their skin from harsh sunlight and biting insects. And interestingly, they even have their own personal assistant, the oxpecker, a small bird that perches on their back to remove parasites and alert them to danger. If India is the buffalo capital of the world with hundreds of millions roaming its fields each day, then Italy is where buffalo milk is turned into culinary gold. From street-side stalls in Mumbai to elegant appetizers in Naples, tens of thousands of tons of mozzarella di bufala are consumed each year, a soft, creamy cheese that's richer and more nutritious than its cow milk counterpart, packed with fat and protein, yet lower in cholesterol. Many still believe that beef is the true king of the table. But buffalo meat is quickly rising to fame for its higher iron content, lower fat levels, and compatibility with modern, health-conscious diets. From muddy fields to five-star restaurants, from plowing soil to topping gourmet dishes, The buffalo has quietly crossed every layer of society. And strangely enough, it's never needed to say a word to prove its worth. Female buffaloes typically give birth once a year, with a gestation period lasting around 10 to 11 months. They usually calve in the spring or early summer, when food is abundant and the weather is favorable, conditions that help ensure the health of both the mother and the newborn calf. After about 6 months, buffalo calves are separated from their mothers and moved to individual pens. This allows farmers to collect the full milk yield from the mother for the production of mozzarella cheese or other dairy products. Female calves are raised on a controlled feeding regimen to grow quickly, stay healthy, and may be kept as future breeders. Meanwhile, male calves are typically raised separately for meat production. Buffaloes can eat a variety of feeds, but the most common are silage corn and straw. After each wheat harvest, massive piles of leftover straw are gathered by specialized baling machines and compressed into large, tightly packed rolls weighing hundreds of kilograms. The straw bales are then loaded onto trucks and transported back to the farm by tractor, where they are tightly wrapped in long plastic tubes for preservation. Hundreds of bales are lined up in front of the barns, ready to serve as a crucial feed reserve for the buffaloes during winter or extended dry seasons. At feeding time, the straw is loaded into a high-capacity feed mixer combined with bran, grains, minerals, and other supplements. The result is a perfectly blended mix, easier to digest, rich in nutrients, and designed to fuel growth, strength, and the rich milk used to make premium mozzarella. An adult buffalo consumes around 8 to 15 kilograms of feed per day and spends up to 6 to 8 hours just ruminating. So if you ever see a buffalo constantly chewing with that slow, thoughtful look, don't be surprised. It's just enjoying a second round of the same meal, straight from its own stomach. And after hours of chewing and re-chewing their meals, what do you think buffaloes do next? That's right, they go for a bath. Bathing is usually scheduled around 9 a.m. or 3 p.m. when the sun is less intense. The moment the barn doors open, the herd rushes toward the pond almost instinctively. They plunge, splash, and soak, not just to cool off, but to relax their muscles after long hours of pulling or ruminating. A buffalo's body temperature ranges from 38 to 39 degrees Celsius, higher than most livestock. That helps with metabolism, but also makes them highly sensitive to heat and prone to heat stress. For buffaloes, daily bathing isn't about staying clean, it's about staying healthy. Once they've eaten their fill and cooled down, buffaloes also get a massage. Automatic rotating brushes are installed right inside the barn, gently spinning when the buffalo rubs against them. They help clean the coat, reduce stress, and stimulate blood circulation. Every stage of care, from feeding to bathing, leads to one goal: milk collection. A female buffalo typically begins producing milk 8 to 10 months after giving birth. Before milking, the udder is thoroughly cleaned with warm water and sterilized cloths to remove dirt and bacteria. Next, an automatic milking machine is attached, simulating the natural rhythm of a calf's suckling. The suction is carefully calibrated to extract milk efficiently while protecting the udder, preventing inflammation or injury, a common cause of reduced milk yield. On average, a buffalo can produce 4 to 6 liters per session. Modern farms can milk dozens of animals at once, smoothly, cleanly, and without bottlenecks. The milk then flows through a sealed stainless steel pipe system and into a cooling tank at 4 degrees Celsius, marking the beginning of its journey into smooth, creamy slices of mozzarella. When milk enters the cheese factory, it doesn't go straight into production. First, it must undergo strict testing for freshness, cleanliness, and harmful bacteria. Then, key nutritional indicators such as fat content, protein levels, and lactose are carefully analyzed. Only milk that truly meets the standards is kept, because even a 0.1% deviation in fat can ruin an entire batch of cheese worth tens of thousands of dollars. To ensure absolute safety before beginning its journey into cheese, the milk must undergo pasteurization. In this step, it is rapidly heated to 72 degrees Celsius for about 15 to 20 seconds, just enough to destroy harmful bacteria without losing its valuable nutrients. Immediately afterward, the milk is quickly cooled to lock in its fresh flavor and prevent any further microbial growth. After pasteurization, buffalo milk is transferred into large stainless steel vats, where it enters a crucial stage, coagulation. This is when the liquid milk begins to transform into a semi-solid form, separating into two main parts: curd, the solid portion that will become cheese, and whey, the liquid that will be removed later. To trigger this process, rennet is added, a traditional enzyme extracted from a young calf's stomach, or produced using modern microbial fermentation. Rennet causes the milk proteins, primarily casein, to bond together, forming a gel-like network that traps fat and essential nutrients. Once the rennet is added, an automatic stirring system gently agitates the mixture for 30 to 40 minutes to ensure even distribution of the enzyme. The stirring must be precisely controlled. Too vigorous and the curd may break prematurely. Too weak and the milk could settle unevenly, leading to inconsistent cheese quality. After stirring, the mixture is left to rest for about 30 minutes, allowing the curd to naturally set. Once the curd has formed, slow-moving wire blades begin to cut it into small, uniform pieces about the size of corn kernels. Cutting increases the surface area, allowing whey to separate more easily. Immediately after cutting, whey starts to rise to the surface. The mixture is then gently heated to around 38 to 42 Celsius, helping the curds contract and release more whey. This step plays a key role in shaping the final texture, moisture level, and even the flavor of the cheese. As the whey separation process finishes, the massive stainless steel vats begin to tilt slowly. With soft, elastic masses of curd slide down the chute, like slabs of condensed milk being released from a giant metallic mold. This is the curd, the concentrated essence of hundreds of liters of fresh buffalo milk. These ivory white curds are still warm, delicate, and fragile. Before they can be transformed into cheese strands, they must be evenly cut. In the prep area, workers use knives or semi-automatic cutters to divide the curds into smaller, uniform blocks, precisely measured. This step isn't just for convenience. It allows heat and salt to penetrate evenly, ensuring the final cheese develops the signature stretch, gloss, and elasticity that define true mozzarella. And this is one of the most anticipated moments in the entire cheese-making process. After being finely shredded, the curd is transferred into a specialized stretching and mixing machine. Here, hot water, around 70 to 80 degrees Celsius, is gradually added as the machine continuously stirs, softening the curd and bringing it to that signature stretchy consistency. Under the combined effect of heat and water, the proteins in the curd begin to straighten and rebond, forming the chewy, elastic, and smooth texture that defines true mozzarella. The portions are then rolled into perfect spheres using a precise spinning motion, resulting in evenly shaped, glossy mozzarella balls. Finally, the mozzarella drops into a cold water tank, rapidly cooling each piece. This step stabilizes the texture and prevents the balls from sticking during storage. The entire process, from shredding the curd to forming smooth mozzarella balls, takes less than 10 minutes, but every step must be tightly controlled to ensure proper texture, flavor, and freshness. In some artisanal dairies in Italy, mozzarella isn't just shaped into balls, it's braided into traditional forms known as treccia mozzarella. Braiding the cheese enhances its elasticity and structural integrity, while helping it retain moisture and providing a more satisfying texture when sliced. This technique isn't just practical, it's a cultural signature, especially popular in southern regions like Campania and Puglia, where mozzarella is considered a true culinary heritage. After being shaped and chilled, each mozzarella ball is transferred to the packaging line via an automated conveyor system. Robotic arms precisely place the cheese into specialized plastic containers, followed by an injection of sterilized brine to keep the mozzarella moist, soft, and fresh for longer. The brine also prevents the pieces from sticking together and helps preserve their elastic texture. The containers are then sealed, labeled, and packed into large cartons before being moved to cold storage at 4 degrees Celsius. From there, they're ready to be shipped to supermarkets, restaurants, and food chains around the world. According to estimates, over 5 million mozzarella balls are consumed globally every single day, from pizzas in New York to caprese salads in Rome. A staggering number for a cheese that lives in water and never dries out. Buffaloes don't just give us rich, milky mozzarella, they're also a source of lean, flavorful red meat, packed with protein. Now let's follow their next journey as they enter the advanced processing lines of modern meat factories. After a long journey from the farm to the factory, buffaloes are first brought into a resting area to stabilize their condition. This short break helps reduce transportation stress and ensures the meat retains optimal quality. Next, trained staff conduct a health check on each animal, measuring body temperature, monitoring heart rate, and recording physiological data. Only buffaloes that meet strict health standards proceed to the specialized processing line. Some large-scale facilities can handle up to 1,000 buffaloes per day, using automated systems designed to ensure hygiene, safety, and animal welfare. India alone supplies 20% of all buffalo meat traded globally, making it the world's largest exporter. That means 1 in every 5 buffalo steaks on the global market likely started its journey in the Indian subcontinent. The processed carcasses are then moved onto conveyor belts, where precision cutting systems divide the dense, lean buffalo meat into standard sections. Unnecessary parts like hide, fat, or internal organs are removed during this stage. Clean meat is then trimmed into specific sizes, large cuts for restaurants or thin slices for retail. The cuts are quickly sent to freezing chambers maintained at 18 degrees Celsius for 72 hours, preserving freshness and extending shelf life. Once they meet temperature and time requirements, the portions are vacuum sealed, labeled, and packed into insulated boxes. From there, these fresh red cuts are ready to be shipped to supermarkets, commercial kitchens, and dining tables around the world. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Now let's dive into the next chapter of our journey, where more fascinating surprises await just ahead. Brazil may boast the biggest numbers, but numbers alone don't define the future. The real game changers in cattle farming are unfolding in Australia and the American West, where million-acre ranches, helicopter herding, and AI-driven management are rewriting the rules of the industry. Here, on fields that stretch endlessly toward the horizon, thousands of massive, bellowing cattle tremble with excitement, eagerly waiting for the gates to swing open so they can charge into the lush green pastures ahead. In the past, herding such a massive group was a grueling, labor-intensive task, relying on cowboys on horseback, ATV riders, or workers on foot braving the elements. But today, thanks to aviation technology, especially helicopters, what once took hours and many people can now be done in mere minutes. On sprawling ranches where a single property can span millions of acres, one skilled pilot can do the work of 10 to 20 people with incredible precision and efficiency. Flying low over the herd, the chopper spots stragglers, gently nudges them back into line, and guides the entire group in the right direction, all without causing panic or stress. Beyond saving time and reducing labor costs, helicopter herding also allows ranchers to detect early signs of trouble, such as fatigue, injury, or illness in the animals. Helicopters aren't just used to monitor and manage cattle from above. In some cases, they're also used to transport them. This method is especially helpful in rugged terrains or when there's an urgent need to move a small to medium number of cattle quickly. Beyond its flexibility, helicopter transport also helps reduce stress on the animals, compared to ground transport that could take several hours or even days. Some lucky cows even get the honor of taking flight by helicopter, landing on carefully selected pastures, areas with fresh grass, clean water, favorable climate, and modern livestock infrastructure. Today, herding cattle by helicopter has become a powerful symbol of modern agriculture, where humans no longer chase livestock from behind, but guide them gracefully from the skies. But feeding these giant herds is just as crucial as moving them. Let's head to the fields where it all begins, with the harvest. To ensure a high-quality food source for the herd, modern farms invest heavily in grass harvesting systems. Today, high-powered mowers are used to cut quickly, cleanly, and evenly across vast fields. After mowing, tedders spread the grass evenly to speed up the drying process, followed by balers that compress it into large, round bales for easy transport and storage. For grass destined for silage, specialized harvesters chop it into smaller pieces and load it directly into transport trucks, ready for fermentation. Once harvested, all the forage is brought back to the farm, where it's stored in cool warehouses or silage pits, ready to be included in scientifically balanced meals for healthy, thriving cattle. To precisely blend the ingredients, modern farms use automatic TMR mixers, massive machines capable of handling several tons of material per hour. These mixers ensure that every cow receives a consistent and nutritionally balanced portion. Would you trust a robot to feed your entire herd? These farmers do, and here's why. Once mixed, the feed is loaded into automated feeding vehicles or robots, which move along the feeding alleys in the barns. These systems distribute the feed into each trough precisely, on schedule, and according to preset portions. Some units are even equipped with sensors to detect leftover feed and automatically top it up when needed. As a result, with just a few simple operations, tens of thousands of cattle on mega farms, some housing up to 30,000 or even 100,000 head, can be fed a complete, clean, and consistent meal, without the need for an entire crew of workers shoveling feed by hand like in the old days. But as farming evolves and becomes smarter, the big question remains: how do we ensure it's humane, sustainable, and balanced? A well-fed cow is a happy cow, but living in a clean, comfy barn? That's next-level cattle care. One of the most commonly used tools is the automated manure scraper, which operates on a preset schedule. Cattle farming has long been under fire for its environmental impact, especially when it comes to cows and their fame, toots. Sounds funny, but each cow can fart out up to 100 kilograms of methane per year, and that amount of gas is equal to driving a car over 14,000 kilometers. But today, many farms are testing methane-reducing feed additives, waste-to-energy systems, and even carbon offset initiatives to build a more sustainable future for beef. When the cows reach their optimal age, they begin their final journey from the farm to the food processing facility. Before transportation, each animal undergoes a final health check to ensure no individual is sick or injured. At the gathering point, farmers carefully spread a thick layer of sawdust or dry straw on the loading area floor. A small step, but one that makes a big difference in comfort throughout the journey. Next, the cattle are calmly guided through a narrow, curved chute with side barriers. This curved design mimics a natural path, avoids sharp corners that might cause panic, and helps the animals move in order without crowding or turning back, minimizing stress before boarding the truck. At the end of the chute, specialized livestock transport trucks await. Inside, these vehicles are equipped with strong ventilation systems, soft lighting, anti-slip flooring, and even automatic water dispensers for long journeys. All of these measures serve one purpose: to ensure that every happy cow is transported in the safest, cleanest, and most comfortable way possible, from open pasture to their final destination. The carcass moves to the organ removal stage, a critical step in the modern slaughtering process. Have you ever tried eating organ meat before? Share your experience in the comments below. We'd love to hear your thoughts. After the hide and internal organs have been removed, the carcass undergoes a final inspection by the quality control team. If it meets all safety and hygiene standards, it is stamped with a veterinary seal or quality certification label, confirming that the meat is safe and approved for commercial processing. Next, the clean carcasses are transferred to a blast chilling room where the temperature is kept between 0 to 4 degrees Celsius. This rapid chilling process takes place over several hours and plays a critical role in inhibiting bacterial growth, preserving the meat's bright color, and maintaining its natural tenderness. Once the carcass has been chilled to the required temperature, it moves into the deboning and cutting section. Here, skilled technicians carefully cut along muscle groups, joints, and meat fibers to separate the carcass into marketable cuts, such as tenderloin, strip loin, short ribs, chuck, brisket, flank, shank, and belly. Each cut is sorted based on its intended use, whether for grilling, stewing, grinding, or export packaging. Every piece is precisely weighed, labeled with a barcode for traceability, and passed on to the packaging department. Some portions are minced, pre-seasoned, or thinly sliced, then vacuum sealed and packaged, ready for distribution to supermarkets, restaurants, or export markets. From humble beginnings on the farm to precise processing on the factory floor, each cut of beef is prepared with care and purpose, ready to become a sizzling steak, a hearty stew, or a signature dish served at dinner tables around the world. From pasture to plate, every step of this journey carries a story of care, precision, and transformation. What surprised you the most? What journey do you want to explore next? This is Agriculture Insight, and we'll see you in the next field. As they enter the laying phase, each hen quietly leaves behind her daily gift in specially designed nesting areas. Thanks to an automatic egg collection system, as soon as the egg drops onto the soft tray below, it is gently transferred onto a conveyor belt. This belt runs the entire length of the housing rows, carrying the eggs straight to the central collection area. No human hands needed. On average, a hen lays at a super speed rate of about 1 egg every 26 hours. That's why, at large-scale industrial farms, automated systems can effortlessly collect between 200,000 to 500,000 eggs per day. Still having trouble picturing that? Well, imagine trying to eat them all. It would take you over 1,300 years to finish, assuming you lived as long as a mythical turtle. From there, the eggs are temporarily stored under ideal temperature and humidity conditions before making their way into the processing facilities. After being collected from the farm, the eggs are transported to the processing facility in specially designed trays to minimize impact and preserve freshness. The first step is input inspection. At this stage, the eggs pass through a candling system using LED lights or image sensing technology to detect defects such as cracks, foreign materials, thin shells, or fertilized embryos. Any eggs that do not meet quality standards are automatically removed from the processing line. Next, you would be breaking the law in the United States if the eggs didn't go through the washing section. A warm water spray, combined with a mild sanitizing solution, helps remove dirt, feathers, and any bacteria that may be clinging to the eggshells. However, in Europe, eggs are not washed. This is because the natural protective layer on the eggshell, called the cuticle, is preserved to prevent bacteria, such as salmonella, from entering the egg. Washing is believed to remove this barrier. So instead, European regulations focus on keeping the entire production process clean, rather than cleaning the eggs afterward. Whether the eggs are washed or not, they are then sorted by weight and size. An automated weighing system determines the weight of each egg and assigns it to a standard category, S, M, L, or XL. This process ensures consistency across every carton of eggs sold on the market. Next comes the packaging stage. The eggs are placed into molded paper or plastic trays that help keep them secure and prevent breakage during transport. These trays are then automatically loaded by robotic arms into larger cartons or plastic boxes, which are printed with the packing date, expiration date, QR codes for traceability, and brand